Welcome to the Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano. Let's get you to the pulse on everything you need to know. And today's show is brought to you by the Pilsener Haus and Biergarten. Go visit our friends at 1422 Grand Street. Have that great watermelon salad, have a pretzel, have those ribs, and have a damn good time. And you could see I never curse on the show, and apparently I am today because I'm super excited to have back our Places Insider. I'm not even going to call you our new Places Insider because you've been on the show already now.
Yes, I am, a fellow Pulse co-star, I guess.
Co-star? I love it.
No, I mean, you are the host, but,
I'm just
guest
a guy
star,
that guest star, she
Yes.
says. I absolutely love it. And, of course, that's Miss Megan Ixim, who is from @Ms. Giggles on Instagram. It is great to see you again.
It's so nice to see you, too. And what a beautiful day we have.
Gorgeous. Megan, I have to tell you, when we were here last episode, there was about 40-mile-per-hour winds.
Yes.
I mean, and it was like, well, our cameras were shaking. And you know what, though? We just did it because we're professionals. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. We roll through it.
We roll through it. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Well, today we're going to be talking about one of Hoboken's, I don't even want to say newest restaurants, but one of Hoboken's most favorite restaurants, I should say, and that is Antique Bar and Bakery. They are located at 122 Willow Avenue. We actually did talk about them on the show previously. I don't remember if it was either Krista or Daria talking about them, but why do you love Antique so much?
Honestly, I think it snuck up on me. And funny enough, I found out about Antique through Krista's Instagram,
Okay.
#foodpic.
That's right. Shout
she
out to
was-
Krista.
Yes, she was sharing some wonderful food porn, if you catch my drift. And, I don't travel too much to Hoboken. I'm sorry, Hoboken. I am a Jersey City gal, and I like to, stumble my way home, for lack of a better term. But
Who doesn't? If you're going to go out, go out.
Yeah, why do we live in a city if not to be able to drink responsibly?
Exactly.
And eat our fill. So I think, watching Krista constantly talk about Antique, and I trust her opinion, I was like, you know what? I think I need to go here. It looks so good. And I don't know if anyone follows them or sees what's happening on social, but the banana bread pudding, gigantic, beautiful.
You started with dessert today.
Mound. I mean, I think meals should start with dessert if I had my way.
I think it should be all three.
Let's work our way back because my favorite is apps and zerts. So it's let's start with desserts and then work our way to the apps. Because it's a smaller plate. Become full and then just 4 snacks down your mouth towards the end that you're
who needs an entree?
For a punishment. Yeah, I mean, if I had my way, it'd be apps and zerts.
So, Megan, Antique was obviously a former bakery.
Yes.
I mean, very, very popular. They moved their location to Jersey City now.
Yes.
I believe they're on Newark Street in Jersey City.
Yes, they are.
The
You can smell the pepperoni bread.
Yeah, which is terrific. I mean, the
Yes.
bread is absolutely phenomenal there. But these guys, when I say these guys, the restaurant in Hoboken, no relation to the one in Jersey City. They basically were like, we're going to keep the name,
Okay.
and we're going to make it a restaurant, but they still get the bread, I believe, from the location in Jersey City, or they still make the bread in the original oven.
Okay, thank you. I was about to say, wait, there's no connection? Because I would have really thrown me off because I think it's a similar letterhead type too. So I'm like, what's going on here?
Exactly.
I'm very confused. But yeah, if you're ever drinking on Newark Ave, coming from Cellar back to downtown, you'll see those wonderful people at Antique with their doors open at 2 a.m. making the bread.
Exactly.
And it smells so good, but of course they won't sell it to you.
Yeah. So you said you stumbled upon this. Excuse me. You saw this on Krista Stucchio's Instagram page.
Yes, Instagram.
What was your impression of Antique when you first walked in?
Honestly, I thought, from other friends, I was a good date night spot. It was high quality food without being too uppity, I guess, too nose in the air. So you don't have to go dressed to the nines, still very casual. And I think that really met my expectations when I went there. I like the space. I like the layout. I like, that you can sit near the grill, the open, fire, whatever that's called. Oh my God. Why are words difficult today? Okay.
It's still a little early. We usually don't film this early.
Yes.
And it's getting a little hot,
Yes.
So.
The grill, and then there also is a great bar space, and it feels very cozy while also feeling like you have some room to play with. which is something that I like, and for me, like a comfortable seat is so important. And I feel like that's something that Jersey City lacks.
Interesting.
Which is something that most people don't think about. But, when you're a little bit larger, it's like I always feel very comfortable in the seats in Antique, whereas I feel like Jersey City has some of like the worst seats ever. I don't know why, but I wish we had a commission.
Come on, Jersey City, get your seats
Can we get
together.
some more comfortable seats, like bar seats? Thank you. But yeah, I like the ambiance. I like the music's usually pretty chill too.
Nice.
It has like that cool 70s posters I find myself getting distracted by. I try to see if I recognize the movies.
So you spoke about the bread pudding.
Yes.
Now let's work our way backwards now, right?
Yes.
What did you have in terms of an entree and an appetizer? And then the drinks, of course.
Oh my God, they have a great bar program. I think I had a really smoky mezcal drink. It's always changing, and they always have a specialty drink of the day, which I appreciate, which keeps it fun and exciting.
Of the day?
Yes,
usually
of the
people
day.
do it by like the week,
No,
right?
of the day. They have a different special drink, appetizer, and entree, I believe, every single day.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So what was the special?
Bored.
Oh, you said it was a mezcal?
Yeah, I believe it was like a smoky mezcal, a little bit of passion fruit, which I absolutely love.
Were they going down like water, as they say?
Oh, going down like water. For sure.
I love it. I love it. All right, now on to the food.
Oh my goodness, yes. Well, every time I go there, it's usually just me and my partner, and the waiter or server is always like, "Are you sure you want to get the stuffed bread? It's a lot of stuffed bread. You might want to get some other things." And I'm like, "Give me the stuffed bread right now."
And what is it stuffed
I do
with?
not care. Well, they have it's always changing. That's what I'm saying. Antique keeps it super interesting.
Okay.
There's usually prosciutto, pepperoni, sausage, eggplant, and that's what I really appreciate because, I feel like when you live in a city and you go to these places pretty often, it sometimes gets monotonous.
Wow.
Whereas Antique, I like the fact that I can go in and there's a new special.
And that's phenomenal. I mean, because a lot of people would say, "Oh, we like smaller menus," and there is a pretty small menu at Antique, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
correct?
I don't think it's too large. I think it's just enough. I think there's probably like 15 items. But I'm also somebody who likes a small menu.
Right, exactly. And then what the menu I guess lacks, is made up for in the specials.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so you had the bread, I guess, for appetizer.
Yeah, for appetizer, it comes with the sauce.
So good.
Or the gravy, depending on where you're from.
And did you go for an entree or?
Yes, I think we did the burger, which was absolutely amazing, but massive. We split the burger because I think it was like this big.
Wow.
And, I think I had to cut it into fours to actually get a bite.
And by the
of
way,
all
I'm sure the bread was made
flavors.
on premise.
Yes, the bread is made on premise.
Wow.
You can't really beat that. But yes, I think it was a specialty burger with like blue cheese, a bacon jam, which is so my jam, if you catch my drift.
Exactly. Pun intended.
Pun. Very much intended. So, and I just was like, I feel like burger, when it's good, it's so good.
Right.
And when it's bad, it's so bad. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Whereas I feel like pizza, if it's bad, it's still good.
Yeah, exactly.
When you live here, the land of the pizza,
exactly.
You can't really mess it up.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're getting like Domino's or Papa John's or.
Domino's slaps. I don't know if anyone's ordered Domino's recently, but oh yes, there we go.
Our crew here, exactly.
Yes, yeah. I'm like. Listen, I love pizza. I could be a bougie pizza eater, but like when you are craving Domino's, it's been good lately. I don't know if they figured there's out or it's particularly my location.
That is hilarious. All right, just to finish off an Antique Bar and Bakery.
Yes,
highly recommended by you.
Highly recommended. Yes, and great service, great manager, so sweet. I think we chatted for about 2 hours last time I was there. So I think it just is good overall, and I feel like it's a gem in Hoboken for sure. Worth traveling out to from Jersey City.
All the way from Jersey City.
All the way from Jersey City.
All right, well, Megan Ixim of Miss Giggles, great to see you. At Miss Giggles, that is on Instagram. Great to see you again, and we hope to see you on a future show.
Yes, can't wait to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, folks, when we come back, we're headed all the way not to Jersey City, but to Secaucus, New Jersey, where Josh is standing by with Mayor Mike Gonnelli out there. We will be right back.
Welcome to Hudson River Care and Counseling. Hello, I'm Dr. Pam Pater-Ennis, the CEO and founder of Hudson River Care and Counseling with over 30 years of clinical social work experience in therapy. We are a progressive counseling and coaching practice with a diverse team that brings a holistic approach to clients. We offer support both in person and through digital platforms such as telehealth. Consider us a safe haven that you can trust with care for your mental health needs. Visit our website to set up a consultation today.
Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. Folks, don't forget to go on our Facebook and our Instagram pages by searching the Pulse with Peter B and like and follow us on each of those platforms. We're constantly updating those pages with previews of each week's segments and cool stories. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our email address at thepulsewithpeterb@gmail.com.
Welcome back. I'm your host with the most, not hostess with the mostest, unlike Peter Biancamano, who isn't sure if he's a man or a woman. And I'm so honored today to be joined by Mayor Mike Gonnelli of Secaucus, New Jersey. Thanks so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure to be here.
So we've been to, I personally have been to Secaucus before, and many fine establishments in this wonderful town. But I don't know much about the mayor's office, which you are. So tell us, how did you get involved in Secaucus civil life?
Well, that's a long story. I don't know if I have enough time to talk about that, but I got involved. I used to be the public works superintendent for many, many years. Politics played a role in that. The prior mayor went to jail. I actually lost that job, and I decided to run for council. I won. I decided to run for mayor against the mayor then. And in the interim, he was locked up and taken away. So I became mayor 4 years ago, and I'm still here.
Oh, wow. So so how long have you been the mayor?
I'm mayor 13 years now.
Oh, wow. So what's that, 4 terms?
4 terms.
Oh, that's a whole bunch. So what in those 4 terms are your top 2 proudest accomplishments?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I'm sure you have a lot on your belt. That's a long time.
Well, let me tell you, I love kids. Anything that kids do, if you look around this office, you're going to see kids' posters, kids' pictures, kids' everything. I really pride myself on the children. And we built a ton of playgrounds in town. We're building 2 more as we speak. I think that is my biggest accomplishment. And the second thing will be keeping taxes stable. I mean, taxes have been stable now for at least 10 years, no increase at all. So I think that's the 2 biggest things, kids and taxes.
Well, I know the taxpayers out there in TV land and the internets appreciate elected officials that keep taxes stable. And I don't know if people can see, but your walls are not only covered by cards, thank you cards written by children, but also by a whole bunch of plaques recognizing your civic service, from being a firefighter to being the mayor. So are you still an active firefighter?
I'm still an active firefighter. I was actually chief a few years ago, and now I'm just a regular fireman, but I'm still very active.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
very, very,
Yeah.
that's some civic dedication right there. The mayor's office and an active firefighter. That's pretty impressive.
That's it.
So where do you see, or where do you want to bring Secaucus going forward?
Listen, Secaucus has changed a lot. We have a lot of rental units now, Exchange, Harper, Waterton. Our population is up, but we want to keep Secaucus a hometown that everybody loves. I mean, you got to love it here. If you don't love it here, get out. I'm only kidding. But really, if you don't like it here, I'm very available. I visit everyone every day, and we want to make it like that hometown feeling.
Well, I know I have friends, from Hoboken and from Jersey City that wanted to stay in Hudson County, but wanted to have, a little bit more space and felt that, not just that, but, obviously I'm not attacking Hoboken. I love it. I've lived there 15 years, nor am I attacking Jersey City, but wanted to have a little bit more of community and felt that Secaucus was the place for them. And they're very happy with their moves.
Well, let me tell you, we do concerts every year. We started this week. We did 2 concerts this year. We do fairs. We do a ton of things to get people together. And I'll tell you, people that live in Exchange and all those outside developments, you have to come together as a whole and to be at these events. And you're going to see me there. I'll be at every one.
Oh, well, I mean, even, I go to events in Hoboken and sometimes in Jersey City as well. And, there's always this community spirit. Everybody in the neighborhood is out there. It's always really nice. And it's also really nice what you mentioned before about keeping taxes stable, because a lot of people's wallets right now and pocketbooks are feeling the pinch of the economic slowdown. So it's always good to hear elected officials have that as a priority. I know when we had County Commissioner Anthony Romano on, he was talking about the budget of the county commissioners staying stable or actually shrinking, which is also really, really important. So it's amazing to hear that.
Well, our budget's made up of a couple of different things. The Meadowlands is one. It's not one anymore because we eliminated tax sharing. So the county's one, the school is one, and we're one. So if everybody tightens their belts a little bit and keep it the best for the people out there. I mean, that's the biggest thing. With COVID and things that hit us. We get money from the parking. Parking's been down. We get money from the hotels. That's been down. So we have to still give raises, but you have to really keep a really steady budget to keep the budget good.
Good.
And that's what we try to do.
Now, you mentioned the Meadowlands, and I know that the Meadowlands Commission was folded into the New Jersey, and you could correct me if I'm getting the name wrong, the New Jersey Sports and Exhibition Authority Commission. I know they're always beefing and giving a hard time to the municipalities that fall within their zone of responsibility. Do you think the organization should even exist anymore? For 20 years, they spent like billions of dollars on a mall that was empty until recently.
That's a good question. The gentleman that runs it now used to work here. He was our construction official. Do I think it should exist? Quite honestly, no. Should it exist maybe as a sports authority? Yes, because there's a lot of stuff happening there. But as a Meadowlands Commission, quite honestly, we opted out, so we're out of it now. So everything that we do comes back to us.
Mm-hmm.
If more communities would opt out, I don't know if they'd be that much for them to do. So I don't really think the Meadowlands Commission, as it was, really stands anymore.
Do they even really benefit the towns around them? I remember reading about a lawsuit because the commission is supposed to give 30% of its revenue to the towns in its area. Could you talk about that?
Yeah, well, we're suing them right now, and it's been taking a long time. It's in the it's not before the jury. It's in an arbitrary commission now, so we're waiting for the result of that. But quite honestly, it's just what you said. It's written in stone that the town gets 30%, the commission keeps 70%. It's for transportation tax. So it's our tax money that is coming out to that fund, and we generate a ton of money. So I really think when they read the statute, they're going to see the truth, and it's 30-70. It's not 100% Meadowlands Commission.
In transportation, that's such an important part of living anywhere in northeastern New Jersey, whether it's a street light or a municipal bus line or something to that effect. Whether it's Hoboken, your wonderful town, or where I was raised in Teaneck, mass transit is important in our area.
Yeah, well, we have two traffic lights here now. Lots here now, by Lautenberg Station, and they hold about 1,000, 1,100 cars each. With COVID, it's been down, but when it was high, they were really full. But that's where your transportation tax comes in. Exchange, the lots that are there. Right now, you look at a building that they're looking to build a building somewhere. It comes into every building that's being built, and they assess them what they're supposed to pay. But out of that money, 30% is ours and 70% is theirs. They don't understand that. They really don't understand that. Right now they're paying for the street lights, and they're saying that covers all the money is going to the street lights. We never really agreed on that as a mayor. Even going back in time, I don't think any mayor agreed on that.
Well, it definitely seems like your wonderful town is getting a raw deal from the commission. But regardless, you do have an absolutely wonderful town, important to transit for the region, but also a wonderful place to live from my friends that live here and from the establishments that I've been into. And I just want to say thank you so much, Mayor, for joining us on The Pulse. It was an honor to have you. And stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Peter Biancamano back with you. Don't forget to watch us on cable access every Sunday and Monday at 9 a.m. Optimum Channel 18, Files Channel 46, and Comcast Channel 190. Also on Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m., you can watch our show on our YouTube channel, and you can also binge watch all of our old shows. Who doesn't want to keep watching The Pulse with Peter B? We'll see you there. Welcome back to The Pulse with Peter B, back here at the Maxwell Place Pier. And we want to thank Secaucus Mayor Michael Gonnelli for joining us in the last segment. He did an absolutely phenomenal job, and he's doing a phenomenal job in that beautiful city. And to Josh Sotomayor Einstein, who cannot pronounce Secaucus, that just shows you what type of person he actually is. Anyway, we do have a very, very special guest, but not making her Pulse premiere today. And that is our town historian here in the beautiful city of Hoboken, New Jersey. And that is Margaret O'Brien. Margaret, welcome back. How are you?
Okay.
So I see you have your notes ready.
Oh, yeah, well, this is history, so I was going to try to not mess it up. Because you got to do the right thing with it.
Well, listen, history is so important so you don't repeat the mistakes of the past, correct?
Right. That's right.
And you absolutely have to love that. And Margaret is all decked out in American flag colors today in her red, white, and blue because, of course, this is the show before the week before the 4th of July. And Margaret, back in 1774, 2 years before the Declaration of Independence was signed,
Yes.
Hoboken was at the forefront of the American Revolution, let's just say.
Yes.
Why was
there
that?
There were many people across the entire nation that refused the king's advances. And the redcoats coming here to threaten them and beat them up and do whatever they were doing to them, shoot at the people, and torment the people, was unnecessary. They didn't want it. They wanted freedom from any other country but right here. Freedom for the United States of America. They had 13 stars on the flag because it was the first 13 colonies.
That's right.
Okay. And 2 years before the Boston Tea Party and Declaration of Independence, only 200 families lived here. Mm-hmm. Those 200 families signed a sheepskin parchment and sent it to the king. No king but God.
No king but God.
On the top of the parchment. If you Google the revolution, you're going to see across the whole splashed across YouTube, internet, whatever. Okay, there's even cartoons about it. So children can learn the history of the revolution, but they're missing this little piece of information, which I happen to bring.
So let me get this straight. So Hoboken had its own tea party before the Boston Tea Party, which of course is famous in history?
They sent the parchment to the king saying no king but God. And Hoboken preacher John Schuneman, armed and ready to fight in a minute, became known as the Minutemen.
Oh, that is fantastic.
And the Minutemen went after the redcoats and tried to chase them. The king, of course, raised the rents and made everybody miserable. So what they did, after they sent the parchment, they became known as the Minutemen. They captured a ship off the coast here. They said Hoboken. Now, it could have been any part of the pier.
Right.
Okay? And they threw all the tea overboard. Now, the ladies in the town went into the town and they sold everything that the king made them pay for free or at a nominal cost to people who could afford it.
That is amazing.
And they said, freedom. We want our freedom.
So could you say that the American Revolution started in Hoboken?
One of the places, yes. You can't prove it was only here.
Correct.
Because the whole country was throwing tea overboard when we were doing it too. But officially wasn't recognized until Boston. Wow. Because what they did, they dressed as Indians, and they went on the ships and they threw not only tea but everything else overboard.
Amazing.
So it was kind of interesting. But the first preacher who did that, his name was John Schuneman, and he was in charge here. And he said, no king but God. And that was the cry that went across the whole Hudson Valley. No king but God. It's on the top of the parchment that was sent to the king. They refused.
That is
now that's on the internet. So all this stuff is on the internet. One piece here, one piece there, one piece here.
And you're here to put it all together.
I put it all together, but you know what happens? Creative Commons took it and made it public. And when they do that, everybody who's on top of everybody, all of a sudden is becoming patriotic and putting stuff on there. Pictures, 1920s hymn book from school. A teacher found a song in there that was the original song that went from this part of the country.
Wow.
Now, the music has been lost, but they found it. It's all over the internet. It's called the Revolutionary Tea Song. So if you Google that, you're going to find it. I have the words here, but I would have to read it because I don't want to mess it up.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Maybe just give us a little bit of a verse, and then we'll put it the whole song on.
You
on
got
the
to
screen
figure
for you.
this out because it's political.
Oh, okay.
There was an old lady lived over the sea, and she was the island's queen. Her daughter moved off to a new country with an ocean of water between. The old lady's pockets were full of gold, but never contented was she. So she called on her daughter to pay her a tax of 3 pence a pound on her tea. Now, mother, dear mother, the daughter replied, I shan't do a thing that you ax. I'm willing to pay a fair price for the tea, but never the 3-penny tax. You shall, quoth the mother, and reddened with rage, for you're my own daughter, you see. And sure 'tis quite proper the daughter should pay her mother a tax on the tea. And so the old lady her servant called up and packed up a budget of tea. And eager for 3 pence a pound, she put enough for a large family. She ordered her servants to bring home the tax, declaring her child must obey, or as old as she was and almost full grown, she'd whip half her lifetime away, take away all of our freedoms. Okay? The tea was conveyed to the daughter's front door, all down by the ocean side, and the bouncing good girl poured out every pound in a dark and a boiling tide. And then she called out to the island queen, Oh, mother, dear mother, quoth she, your tea you may have when it's steeped enough, but never a tax from me. And that was a song that went across the whole country. Now,
That originated in Hoboken.
it was originated in Hoboken, according to these papers, but when these people picked it up on the internet, the whole country is claiming it.
Unbelievable.
Now, 1920, you have
they
a
love to steal things from us, huh, Margaret?
I'm used to that. You should be used to that by now, too.
Exactly.
You have the best with the pulse.
Oh, I
And
appreciate
those
that, Margaret.
imitations that are a little bit away from here are terrible.
Oh,
They're
wow.
awful.
Well-
That guy is terrible.
Well, listen, we've been doing this for close to 4 years, and we have a very, very good team that's behind me. So anybody that wants to copy, what do they say? Imitation
is a serious form of flattery.
flattery. That's what they
Right.
say. I figured you would know that, Margaret. Well, Margaret, we do have about 90 seconds left here. You are a town historian, as everybody knows. Why do you love Hoboken so much?
Because it has a beautiful, beautiful history. The Lenape that were here, the first council people. The first mayor was a laxative salesman who sold laxative door to door as snake oil. He promised to purge his constituency. Do you know who his best friend was? And I got the P.T. Barnum. Can you guess some of the things they did?
What do they do?
They opened up a barn, and in the barn, they said 10 cents to see the first flying horse. 10 cents. We have a horse that flies.
Also known as a unicorn, correct?
Right. So 2 little kids punched a hole in the back, and they saw the horse with oars taped on the back of the horse, and they were tickling the underside of the horse to make the things fly. And they went and they ratted. Do you know what they were going to do? They were going to tar and feather the mayor and P.T. Barnum. P.T. Barnum crossed the river, went on the other side and opened a museum saying he found the first mermaid.
All right. Well, we have to end it on that. Margaret O'Brien, our town historian here in the city of Hoboken. Thank you so much. You're invited anytime here. All right, Margaret?
I would love to come back here.
We would love to have you.
This is my favorite pulse.
I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you again, Margaret.
Well, you're going to use some of that stuff?
We're going to use
it's
all of
written.
it.
It's
We're going to use all of it. Absolutely.
written.
All right. Thanks again, Margaret. All right, folks. Join us next week for The Pulse on everything you need to know. I'm Peter Biancamano from the Maxwell Place Pier. I hope you have a great week, everybody.